And hello and welcome to the Jess Strom Show for March 2nd, 2016. And we have a jam-packed show planned for everybody because, as I just said, it's March, which means tournament basketball, and we're in the thick of the PSAC tournament. But before we talk about conference tournament, regional tournament, NCAA tournament, and anything else we talk about, we have the pleasure of having two of Coach Strom's players in the studio with us. And ladies, if you'd like to look into the camera and introduce yourselves to everybody at home, be my guest.
My name is Shatara Parsons, and I'm number 3.
My name is Sierra Baird, and I'm number 5.
And ladies, thanks for coming over. First of all, as we're filming this show, this is the day after the PSAC second round game against Edinburgh. And great win last night, great atmosphere, and like I said, it's great to get back to the PSAC Final Four.
Yes, it really is.
And especially since it's going to be at home this weekend, but we'll cover that in a few minutes. But first, both of you ladies have had an outstanding season. It seems like when I look at the stats, I mean, you can pencil in pretty much 10 points and 10 rebounds for both of you. And that's great for any basketball team to have. We'll backtrack a little bit. How did both of you end up in California? We'll start with you, Tara.
Well, they were recruiting Precious, and we went to the same high school. And then I would come to Precious's visits with her, and I just started to like it. So I decided I wanted to come too.
Excellent. We're glad you're here.
I'm pretty sure Coach T saw me play at a tournament in Slippery Rock first, and I feel like that's where it started. And then he started coming to my high school games, and then I ended up here.
Yeah, like I said, it's been great to have both of you. This season's been just a great season so far. I believe it's an 11-game win streak, maybe 12, but it's definitely in double digits, which is hard to do. I mean, with the quality of basketball. We'll start with you, Tara. How has your game changed from the beginning of the season? I know it's a long season, but you bring an element that most teams don't have with your range and your athleticism.
I think I just do what I do. I run the floor. I get rebounds. I don't really jump out of my game. I just play my game and just go with that.
And Sierra, you played volleyball this year, so it must seem like you've been in season since about the middle of July. How's that transition go right from volleyball season, where the volleyball team had a great year, straight into basketball? Because there's, I think, maybe 8 hours in between seasons, basically.
Yeah, it was very difficult between the tearing of my body to classes to sport to sport. It was hard, but, I mean, when you love something, you just stick with it and you fight through it.
And how fun has this year been? Because I know when we're watching the game, I'm always usually in the truck. I've got to call a couple radio games, so I get to see you guys on the floor a little bit better. But how much fun is it to know that you two are probably two of the most dominant inside players in the league? Is that something fun that when opposing players are coming in, that they're going to have a rough night ahead of them?
I think it's fun just knowing that we came in together. Like, we started out as roommates, we became best friends, and then we became best friends on the court. So I think that's where all the funness came from.
I think that we work good together, and we always told our coach that we wanted to make headlines together. So when we actually did, it was pretty fun and cool. So.
And definitely, like I said, we always know when during warm-ups when we're getting ready for the Open if we have a close-up of a player, and we're always like they're either going to be smiling or laughing, so it's easy to pick out. And I think as a fan, that's probably great because, like I said, it's hard if you're tense and everything. But it looks like the whole team is having a great time this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Now, away from basketball, I always like to ask because obviously you guys get a few hours a week that isn't basketball or class. I'll start you, Sarah. What do you like to do on a day off? If the phone you get a text alert and that nothing is happening tomorrow, what would be the first thing you would plan?
Sleep and watch Grey's Anatomy.
Okay. That's pretty much a standard answer, both with sleep and Grey's for players we've asked. How about you, Sierra?
I'm just sleep. I'm not doing nothing.
Not even turning the TV on?
No, I might eat here and there, but I'm just sleep.
That's how I am. Like I said, if I get a day off, I plan things like cleaning the house.
Yeah.
But that never happens.
Never happens.
Yeah, just find a chair and just stay asleep.
Yes.
Obviously, both your students. Cher, what is your major here at California?
I major in sports management and I minor in business.
Okay. What after graduation, what are you looking to do? Because you got to go a lot of different directions with both of those.
Well, I'm hoping I can play across seas in Spain. If not, go be a GA somewhere, I guess.
There's nothing wrong with Spain. That's a beautiful country.
Yes.
How about you, Sierra? What is your major?
I majored in accounting and I'm minoring in Spanish.
Okay. So definitely a Spain connection there too. So.
Yeah, that's actually what I want to do. I want to play across seas in Spain. If not, probably work in an accounting firm, being an accountant.
And both of you said Spain. What is it like with their league over there?
I heard it's really good. Like, I asked Natalia about their team, and she told me they're actually pretty good. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I watched the Cheetah Girls and just wanted to go to Spain.
That's, hey, you know what?
Oh
There's nothing wrong with that. So, Spain, like I said, Spain's a great country. I've always wanted to visit. So, we have a few more minutes here. As we head into the weekend, you guys are going to be playing Shippensburg at home, and then hopefully Saturday. What do you know about Shippensburg coming into the season? Because you guys haven't played them this year. It's one of the few teams in the East.
Yeah.
Have you been able to look at any film yet? And I'll ask Coach Strom the more tough questions.
No, we'll watch film on them tomorrow, but I guess they're pretty good on their side because they were number 1, but now they're number 2. So, I mean, they have to be a good team.
Yeah,
So
I
it
guess
should
they
be
have a
good
couple
game.
big girls, but we'll be able to handle them.
And
Yes.
it'll be at home this week, but it'll be in Hamer Hall.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that atmosphere last night. I mean, it's just a loud atmosphere.
It was crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love playing in Hammer.
Is it just the noise or the sport? Because, I mean, there's a lot of history in that gym. A lot of great basketballs have played in that gym over the past, I guess, 45, 50 years since it's been open.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great experience. We love the convocation floor, but we love the atmosphere in Hamer. It's very different.
And it's smaller, so in Convo there might be as many people in there, but they're all spread out. But in Hammer they're all together, so
It seems like it's just
it.
louder in there.
It
That's
is.
got to be
It
tough
is.
for a visiting team to come in.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like you said, the difference, it may have been the same number of people, but there's nowhere for the noise to go in Hamer except straight up to the ceiling and
Right.
straight back down.
Right.
Now, obviously, spring break starts this season. If you ladies want to look in the camera and tell people why they should come out this weekend and pack Hamer, now's your chance to get rear ends in the seats.
you guys should come out because it should be a really good game, a great game. And the more you guys are there, the more it will help us bring the energy and excitement on the floor.
Yeah, what's your pitch? Let's see who's the better sales pitch.
You should come out because we're winning PSACs again, so might as well come celebrate with the next PSAC champions.
Yep, and we're getting another ring.
Well, you heard it here first, so make sure to come out this Saturday. PSAC Final Four in Hamer Hall. The first game will be 1 o'clock between IUP and Westchester, and then the second game will be 3:30 p.m. between California and Shippensburg. And good luck this weekend, ladies, also this weekend and beyond, because I know there's a lot of basketball left
Yes.
this season. So coming up after the break, we'll talk with Coach Strom and look back at highlights of the last 2 Edinboro games, and we'll look at a comprehensive look at the PSAC tournament and the regionals and everything else basketball related. You're watching the Jess Strom Show right here on CUTV.
With Cal U's 6 on-campus residence halls and Vulcan Village's garden-style apartment complex, University Housing offers the very best value in service, convenience, privacy, and security. On-campus students will have easy access to classrooms, the newly renovated Natali Student Center, and a variety of activities across campus. University Housing Properties includes all utilities. Other common amenities to all properties are fully furnished rooms, high-def cable TV, high-speed Wi-Fi access, and live-in professional staff. Vulcan Village also includes a full kitchen and laundry room. The property has a 24/7 fitness center, convenient shuttle service, and an outdoor seasonal saltwater pool. Model rooms and tours are available. Stop in the University Housing Office or contact us by phone or email to learn more.
Since 1937, the Student Association Incorporated, known as SAI, has served the Cal U student body by providing activities, programs, and services. Every enrolled student has the ability to take part in over 125 different clubs and organizations. Managing participation in every SAI activity is easy with OrgSync, a powerful tool for staying connected. Located 1 mile from campus, the SAI Farm has 94 acres of meeting and recreational space. SAI, it's your student association.
And welcome back to the Jess Strom Show. As we mentioned at the top of the show, it's March 2nd, which means basketball is in its playoff mode in the PSAC, and we're happy to have Coach Jess Strom here for the second half of the show. And Coach, great win last night in the PSAC second round. No, it was a tight game, but we'll talk about that in a second because we have a couple games because you played Edinboro twice in the span of 7 days.
Yes, we did.
6 days.
6 days. They at least got to go play someone different on that Saturday, and we didn't. But, yeah, I think the first time we played them was a little better for us than the last time. But it's tough to play a team twice in such a short amount of time.
And it's surprising how often that seems to happen, either in the East or the West men's and women's division, that you play a team last game of the regular season, and then you turn around, you either play them in the first round, or as Wheaton case, because you had the bye, play them in the second round. I mean, it's just unreal how that happens.
It is, and that's part of the reason why I always say the PSAC should go to a different format, and seed everybody, so you're not always playing the same teams. You might end up playing them again, but it's more likely because you have to play your side. So I think that happens a lot because of that too.
And we'll go back to last week. It was senior night at the Convocation Center. Second time you played Edinboro. Good turnout for senior night, and your team came out on fire. As we'll see in the highlights here in a second. Just dominating effort.
Yeah, I think we kind of had something to prove. Edinboro kicked our butts the first time, and I think our kids kind of took that personally. We didn't play well at all there. So I think coming into that game, we really wanted to prove, we're better than that.
Mm-hmm.
We think we can beat them. So we definitely came out with some fire, with some fight.
And definitely, as you're going to see on the highlights here, a lot of, as we've been saying all year, offense coming from defense, and there's some defensive steals that you're going to see that led to the turnovers. And as you said, if you get those turnovers, that leads to offense.
Yeah, I think in this game we forced the most turnovers Edinboro has had all season. So, it's always good for us to get turnovers, to score in transition, to get us going a little bit offensively. But you see some half-court shots here. Paige hits one. I think she hit a shot very similar last night to that same exact move that was really, really big for us. But this is what we like to do, which is a great pass from Shatera to Sierra there. But get out in transition. I feel like we can run with anybody. It starts with rebounding. We talk about that a lot. We got to get those rebounds, and there's pressure. And again, she had a great game last night against Edinboro too. So
And there's a defense
yeah,
right there.
you can't really teach that, but again, it's our defense, and it always fuels our offense. So.
Well, our cameraman down there, because that was about 4 feet from him, he said that the sound of that ball smacking the hand he said he feared for his life a little bit.
I'm sure what Sierra said after she smacked that ball, he probably feared for his life also.
And here's some more defense coming here. Morgan Jennings, who's been playing great minutes as a freshman.
Yeah, she has. She's our sixth man. She comes in and she gives us energy off the bench. Defensively, offensively, she's just kind of a spark. There you see some more defense, and it's the best way to score. Easy layups for us.
And you mentioned something before, like your whole team can run, whole team can play defense, but I think something that's underlooked is everyone can pass. You always see on the fast breaks, they're not always automatically looking to take it to the hole. As we see right here, keep it in bounds, and then I believe there might be another pass here. She might take it here. She looks it off, but everyone's looking to pass and get those easy layups.
And I think that's come along with the season. We midway through the season, I think we really had to focus on our passing. It wasn't very good, and I think since we have in practice, it's gotten a lot better, and you can see our kids moving the ball better in transition, even in the half court. I think we emphasized it a lot, and we've really worked on it. So I'm glad to see that it's actually paying off.
And that ends, I think this will probably be one of the last highlights, but after that win, going into that game, you were basically in a scenario, you knew if you won, you would have the number 1 seed in the West. There were some scenarios that ultimately played off IUP loss, but a win you automatically were in. And you got that win. You knew at the end of the game you were going to be the number 1 seed in the PSAC, and then you had that off Saturday.
Yeah, going into that game, I think we just wanted to take care of ourselves. We knew if we lost and this team won, but we didn't want to even worry about that. If we came in and we took care of ourselves and we won, we knew we'd be the first seed in the West. So I think that was kind of our mindset, not so much worrying about what everyone else did. And it was senior day, and it was our last regular season home game. So I think there was a lot, going our way.
Mm-hmm. Which is good, because I know if you get wrapped up too much into looking what the tiebreakers are, and it was only really 2 teams, but there were so many scenarios. If it's a tie and this team finished 3rd and this team finished 4th, and what would happen, that I went gray reading it, to be honest with you. But you get the win, you have the bye on Saturday, so the team gets a little bit of rest. You knew you played the winner of Edinboro and Mercyhurst, and I think that game was probably over by the end of the first half, because Edinboro did a pretty good job on Mercyhurst. But you turn around. Same team, different venue, played Hamer Hall last night, and we were talking about it with my guys at halftime or right after the game. It felt so much like last year's Gannon game, where it was close, but the crowd was in it, and ultimately, and we're going to see on the highlights here in a minute or two, that defense led the day, led a huge comeback.
Yeah, I think, the first 3.5 quarters or 2.5 quarters, it wasn't the defense we would like to play. I think we came out a little bit flat. And Edinburgh was hitting shots. That first half, they were on fire, especially from three. So I think it was a combination. We got down a little bit, but it's just, so proud of our kids because they fought. They didn't give up. It wasn't our best game. We couldn't make a layup. We did some things wrong, but they didn't give up. They fought for the whole entire game. And I think to come back, we were down 10 in the third quarter. So to come back, I think it just shows character that they have and some maturity, because I think earlier in the season, we get down by 10 and, it turns to 20 quickly. So, Paige hit some big shots at some big times, and I think we just never gave up.
And we'll see here on the highlights from last night, just what we were talking about. And you mentioned being down by 10, but just as quickly as you're down in the second half, I think you guys were up by 5 in the span of like 5 minutes, it seemed.
Yeah, I think we finally, realized, hey, we got to win this game. Our energy picked up, in that fourth quarter. Like I said, Paige hit a shot, and I think our bench went nuts, and the fans went nuts, and it just kind of gave us a little bit of life. But there's Press. She had a great game from start to finish. She played really well. First quarter, I think she had 14 points. Yes. So she really held us together at the beginning of that game. But offensively and defensively, she came through big. Even, late in the game, she had a steal to a layup and kind of just energized us with that. And
also late in the game, there were a couple instances where, just great basketball awareness. You're up, there was a steal, but instead of taking it, the team, kind of slowed it down instead of forcing something that could have been a turnover and go the other way.
That was Shatera, and I think if she would have went for a layup, I might have went on the court and tackled her myself. But no, we're getting smarter. Late game situations, you got to be smart. We want the ball in Mickey's hands in those situations. So, we're learning. And there you see Mickey again taking it to the rim. She's not going to get one foul called for her. So, and here's a great play, but I think the response on the bench is even better if you took a look at our bench in that play. But this is what I'm talking about. Paige hit a huge
This was
three.
starting a little bit of the comeback.
And just gave us, some momentum, some energy. And then that was, I think, when the crowd went crazy.
Yeah, when we put the replays in, we kind of code them for good ones. And I can't tell you how many times this year the replay's been Glenn / break ankles, because she's done that 4 or 5 times this year.
Yeah, she usually gets one a game, where she gets people pretty good.
You see where this is towards when you see the bench and the crowd going crazy. And that was pretty loud. Other than last year's game against Bloomsburg, which that might have been the loudest that building ever was, that was a pretty loud building.
Yeah, it was awesome. Our crowd was great. It was a mix. There was a lot of students, and I think it really helped us out a lot because we needed some energy from somewhere. And, we made some shots, and they picked up the noise, and I think our kids really fed off that.
See a nice dish right there from Nikki Lynch and Shatera Parson. I believe that's an and one situation. And that look on the face of the Edinburgh player, because like I said, it was sudden when you guys came back. It was almost like seeing a tidal wave and not being able to get out of the way.
Thank goodness. We needed it to happen sometime before it was too late. But no, they did. We picked up our energy. That was the difference. That when we made that run, we had energy. We were talking, we were the aggressors. We didn't let Edinburgh dictate to us.
And playing a team that close back to back, how much can a team change schemes or anything like that? Did Edinburgh try anything different? Was it something you hadn't seen, or was it just, as we mentioned at the beginning talking about the game, they were hot when they got off the bus. They didn't really miss.
Yeah, I think they tweaked some things. I think they made a couple adjustments that worked pretty well for them, but they just made shots. Their shooters were just on, and it's hard to defend. I think we could have defended a little better, a couple of them, but some of them, we were there with a hand in their face, and they just made it. So you kind of just have to fight through those moments and, know we're going to make a run eventually, so just kind of stick with it.
And that, with that great comeback last night, that puts you at home this weekend for the PSAC Final Four. And it's been a while since California's hosted the PSAC Final Four. Been in it a lot, but just when it goes east to west, some years you might be the 1 seed in the west, but it's out in the east. But it's at home this weekend. We'll take a look at the updated brackets and kind of go through that as all the number 1 and number 2 seeds are holding serve, and they'll be here. And you see California plays the winner of Shippensburg-Millersville. So you have California-Shippensburg, and then on the other side of the bracket, Westchester and Indiana. So out of the 3 opponents, you've played 2 of them, and of course the team you haven't played this season has been Shippensburg. But anything on that surprise you?
It actually does surprise me. Typically you'd say, oh, the 1s and the 2 seeds made it, but with the PSAC this year being so even, I'm kind of surprised there wasn't an upset. You know, I'm kind of surprised somebody else didn't make it in there to the Final Four, but it worked out that the 1 and the 2 seeds play, and I'm actually glad we play Shippensburg because we haven't seen them yet. You know, I think it's good for us to play somebody different because our style of play sometimes can surprise people if you haven't played us. So I'm glad we're playing somebody different. And then, you know, obviously Westchester, Indiana, I think is going to be a great game too.
Yeah, make sure to come out to Hamer Hall this weekend. It's going to be great basketball. Games are 1 and 3:30 on Saturday. CUTV will be providing live streaming of both games, all 3 games this weekend. So for some reason, if you have a good doctor's excuse and can't come to Hamer Hall, make sure you tune in and watch. But have you had a chance? I know it's only been about 20 hours since the game. What do you know about Shippensburg coming into this?
Yeah, us coaches have watched. The kids haven't watched yet. But they're a good team. You know, they have a big kid that's kind of dominating down low. They have some kids that can shoot the ball. They're very fundamental. They move the ball well. They're tough. They're scrappy. They're a really good team. They were in first a lot of the season over there. So, you know, they're a good team. They had some lumps late. You know, they lost some games. But it's going to be a good game. It's a good matchup. I think it's going to be fun to watch. And
not only just the excitement of a conference championship on the line this weekend, all 4 of those teams factor in highly in the regional rankings because that's kind of the game within the game. Right now there's 7 spots up for grabs because Virginia Union won their tournament. We'll take a look at the last week's regional rankings, which are the most up-to-date. We were hoping they would be released at some time. They'll be released today, but not in time for this. But this was last Wednesday's rankings. Virginia Union has the automatic bid. They won their conference in a exciting game on, I think it was Saturday.
Yeah.
And then West Liberty, California, Wheeling Jesuit, Westchester, all are still in their conference tournaments. Shawan, I believe, lost in the semis. Shaw lost in the finals to Virginia Union. So Millersville and Edinburgh are the only 2 other teams that are done. So that, I mean,
yeah, and
a lot on the line this weekend.
Since then, Wheeling has lost 2 games. Their last 2 games of the regular season, they've lost. So there might be some movement. I would think the first 3 would probably stay the same for now. But yeah, I think there's going to be some movement 4 through 8. You never know though. And I'm not sure if they count last night's games or they do it before that. So I think it's going to be interesting to see. And you never know because it's a lot of people's opinions.
Yeah.
So you can look at records and you can say what you think, but until it comes out, you never really know.
And make sure to check out calvulcans.com because as soon as it comes out, Matt and his staff will have a write-up with what's going on, because today's will be the last regional ranking. The next time we hear from the NCAA committees will be Sunday night about 10:15 or 10:45, whenever they decide to start the show.
Yeah.
With what the seedings are going to be, and that's it. Like I said, it seems like we only had 3 rankings, and we have.
Since the change, they only come out, I think, 3 times, and then the final one for the selection show. So you kind of have to wait all season even to see where you are.
As a coach, do you like that, or is it, because I know as a fan and also doing the games, I always liked it when it came out like at the end of January or even like when conference play started in the middle of January, because at least it gives you A, something to talk about, but B, it gives you a better snapshot of what could be transpiring down the end of the road.
Yeah, no, I would like to see it earlier, just because then you have an idea of where you're at. Like I said, it's a lot of opinions of the people who are on the committee. So you would like to see what they're thinking. Where's the strength of schedule? Do they think the PSAC's stronger than the Mountain East? Do they think the CIAA is strong? So I'd like to see it earlier just to kind of gauge where you're at, and so you kind of have a better idea of what you have to do to get in.
And for this year, as you just saw on the graphic, all 3 conferences are pretty evenly represented. I think PSAC has the most, but there's not a conference out there that only has 1 team, and there's multiple teams as of last week's rankings that had at least 2 teams in it from a conference.
There is, and you never know. There still can be an upset in the Mountain East. You never know for the PSAC. The only one you know for sure is the CIAA because it's done. So, it's the best time of year. It's the most fun time of year. So that can change a lot, in 5 days.
Now, how much do you as the staff kind of keep an eye on the other conference? Obviously, it's probably easy for the CIAA because you had the bye and, weren't playing, and that game was last week, but the MEC tournament's going on concurrently right now in Charleston. Do you guys keep an eye on it or just kind of check in at the end of the day to see, okay, here's what's happening, that's good, and go on?
No, we're kind of crazy about basketball, so our staff watches everything. Last Saturday when people were playing and we weren't, we're at my house with it on the projector watching every game. We're watching West Lib and Wheeling. We're watching the CIAA final. We're trying to watch the Edinburgh Mercyhurst game. So we definitely watch anytime we get a chance, because you never know. You don't know who you're going to play. We want to watch the West Libs play. We want to watch Wheeling play because we might have to play them.
Yeah.
Obviously we can get the film, but we're kind of basketball junkies, and it's March, so that's all we have to do is watch basketball.
Yeah, this time of year, and if you were around my house last Saturday, there might have been some profanity because I couldn't get the live. I don't have the network that the CIAA was on, and their live stats were about 20 minutes behind. So I'm getting texts from
Yeah, we
people.
couldn't get it either.
Oh.
It wouldn't work.
So there was, okay, because I wasn't, I'm glad I wasn't the only one, because like I said, at one point I think I scared some neighbors.
We
really
couldn't
did.
get that one. We couldn't get the Edinburgh Mercyhurst game either. It froze about 2 minutes in, and we couldn't watch the rest of the game.
It's frustrating,
Oh,
especially this time of year.
So we're watching live stats. Nothing else on in the house, just live
Oh,
stats.
geez. Kind of like the old ways they used to do with the ticker tape, people standing out in Times Square watching what was going on.
Yeah.
But that brings us to the end. Like I said, if you're out there, make sure to get to Hamer Hall this weekend. No, I didn't stutter. Is at Hamer Hall this weekend. Shippensburg, 3:30 on Saturday. And if that changed, I believe that's the latest I heard was 3:30.
Yeah, that's correct.
And then the PSAC final will be Saturday or Sunday at 3 o'clock. Like I said, CUTV. I will be broadcasting and live streaming on the Kyle Vulcan's website with help of Matt Kiefer and his staff. Both semifinals and also the final ones Saturday and Sunday. So make sure to come on out. It's going to be a great day of basketball. Two good games back to back. And then the NCAA selection show, I have it listed at 10, but it might be 10:30. And then the NCAA first and second rounds will be next weekend already. And it's unbelievable to see that on the schedule that close.
Yeah, it's crazy. This season definitely flew by, but like I said, it's the best time of year. This is what you play for. This is what you practice for, so it's exciting.
It's been a great, like I said, 11, 12-game win streak. I'm not sure what it is off the top of my head. I know it's at least 11. It might be 12 now.
It's 11.
Don't want to get ahead of myself, but like I said, make sure to come on out this Saturday. It's going to be a great day of basketball. And Coach, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next week on the Jess Strom Show, and we'll have hopefully some information about what's going on in the future. So stay tuned. And for more information, always check out calvulcans.com. I will see you next week on the Jess Strom Show on CUTV.